Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. As always, I'm Steve, and today I want to talk to you about this railroad strike that's looming. Um, from what I'm reading, guys, this thing looks like it's going to be dragging on for a while, and it's all but imminent. Um, Hopefully, it doesn't turn out the way I think it's going to turn out, but we'll see. Let me get into it a little bit. The news as we know it right now, from what I've seen, I've been covering it today. Nothing really changed since this morning. It's saying that the conductors and engineers are mainly the ones that are doing this strike. Labor unions, 11 or 13 labor unions out of 11, out of 13, 11 have a tentative agreement. And when I say tentative agreement, that means that it's word of mouth. There's nothing written in stone yet. So 2 out of the 13, are still opposed to coming to some type of agreement with this labor situation. Now, like I said, it's mainly engineers and conductors. So, for all of you don't know what the difference between the two is, engineer is the one that drives the train. The conductor is the one that couples the train, where he gets out of the train while the engineer backs up, and he's almost like a co-pilot of sorts. So those are the two most important aspects of rail travel. You got the driver and the co-pilot. So this is what makes this so big. And it's saying upwards to 100 to 180,000 conductors and engineers are trying to strike. Now, this thing right here is serious. And the reason why it's serious is it's so many things in my head. I don't even know where to start. We'll start with this. It's going to be very damaging to the economy. Like the last time we had a strike, a railroad strike, right? It was like, I think it was when Bush was in office. I think it was the first one, the first Bush. And after 3 days, man, it was so brutal. They was like, Congress had to step in. And then speaking of Congress, one of the things that's crazy is these workers are pushing for improved wages. They want more pay, better working conditions, and pay and paid time off, right? I have relatives that are in the rail industry. Like my brother's a conductor for Conrail, right? That job is very strenuous, whether you realize it or not. Them guys can't miss work. When they're going through the training, how many months or years, a couple years of training, whatever it is, I'm not for sure. They can't miss days. And some of you guys out there, leave me a comment if you're in this situation or you worked on rail. They don't play that no days off, no time off stuff. They will fire you quick on the railroad. They have no type of pause on nothing when it comes to that. Now, with that being said, right? These people are fighting for all of these things, and they seem like legitimate gripes. This would be dangerous on the economy, like I said. First of all, let's look at the whole thing. It would be a logistical nightmare. They're predicting to get the same output of if the railroads shut down in one day, you would have to have 587,000 extra trucks on the road to make up for one day of the railroad per day. 587,000 trucks per day. That's huge. Another thing is everything that we have, object wise or things that we buy and use at one point or another was on a freight train in the United States before it came to us, or was delivered to us, or we brought it off the showroom floor. Everything. The impact on the economy, like with the CGI and all of that, CPI index. Today the readings of it wasn't where it's supposed to be, and then this on top of that, man, that'd be brutal on the economy. Brutal. Then, like I said, it's a logistical nightmare. Now, the President Biden and his administration supposedly are going to sit in on these talks, which is supposed to happen before Friday, because the strike would start on Friday, from what I'm hearing in the media and various outlets that I've looked. He's supposed to step in and take a listen to the talks and let both sides work each other out. Now, if they don't work it out, in fact, before I bring that up about them working it out, right? Somebody might say, well, hey, labor laws and the workers have rights and you're true, but you gotta understand something. The labor laws that work in normal jobs doesn't work for the railroad. The railroad, excuse me, they have their own labor laws where they're contracted like with their labor laws with the government. They're regulated through the government. It's not like a regular, like you can go and make a complaint somewhere. No, they're government regulated. So the president and I guess his special department of labor, White House, wherever they're at in the White House or in Washington, they oversee that. Now, say they don't come into an agreement. They can for the government can force them to do one or two things. Congress can say, look, we're gonna ban the lockout and we're gonna ban the strike, right? So we're gonna put them in a position where y'all can't stop, right? So I don't know what happens after that when they tell these workers, look, you can't strike. We'll work something out. We'll give you some type of severance or compensation until you come to agreement. The second thing they can do is they can just back off. I think I'm saying it right, back off. Where both sides just can't come to an agreement. They back away from the table. And when they back away from the table, it might be 30 or 60 days, and then they'll come back after temper's cool and then retry it again. But from what I'm seeing and hearing, they've been doing this for a while. The negotiations been going on for months, if not years. So that's kind of strange. But a little bit about how it would affect the market, in my opinion, it's a lot of things, man. Like fuel prices, it would mess up the fuel prices. Fuel prices would go up, because transportation stocks. So I don't know if transportation stocks would go up. Like if well, I don't think any stocks gonna go up now with the way the market is. But say everything was normal and this happened, hypothetically, what I think would happen was I think fuel prices would rise, right? Because now fuel travels by rail car a lot of times where it's dropped off, especially from where I'm at in Texas, parts of the United States. It travels by rail. I think that would be affected. Fuel prices would be affected. Transportation stocks. I don't know if transportation stocks would go up or they would drop. A lot of logistical stocks, I think, would be messed up. Industrial stocks, companies like Dow, Clorox, they get some of their raw chemicals by rail, delivered straight to them. Companies that make industrial glass, like buildings, like that skyscraper glass and stuff, a lot of industrial stocks would be messed up. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And then, like, say they do a strike. Like right now, companies are starting to cancel some routes, especially passenger companies like Amtrak is canceling routes, some long distance routes they're canceling. These most of the chemicals that we have are traveled by rail, like the hard chemicals to make plastic and bleach and stuff like that. They're all by rail. So I mean, this is a really big thing. Like I said, the last time they had this, man, after 3 days, man, the government was like, "Oh hell no, we can't have this because it's a collapse." It's like I am tongue tied today. Economically, this thing would be really, really bad. And then, like, they're saying that the railroads by themselves, the ones that if these guys wind up just walking off the job, they would lose $2 billion a day, upwards of $2 billion. That's unfathomable. Commercial insurance would suffer. That's another thing. Commercial insurance, like business insurance, like whoever's insuring these locomotives and stuff, because some of these trains would just stop and they're far from a destination. The rail yard has to use employees or some type of company to even lock up this stuff. You got sulfuric acid, all kind of hydrogen chloride gas, and all type of natural gas running through these trains, and they stop at a certain train yard anywhere. They got to have security to guard this stuff. You know, like what was it, last year or the year before last, when somebody broke into the a car in California, a rail car, and it had Amazon gifts in it, and threw the gifts all out and ransacked the thing. Because I mean, from where I grew up, it was a freight train yard behind my house, and people was constantly breaking into those containers, taking stuff. And so I mean, the threat would be real, and then the nation knows about it. I just think, man, insurance companies would be like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Please don't let this happen, because I don't even know if they would cover all that damage. And then, like, sensitive cargo, like I was saying, like, things that could be damaging to the environment if they're spilled out, because it would just be really bad. This can turn into something really, really. Do I hope it happens? No. Especially with what we've seen today, with them probably having to raise the interest rates again, well, which they will raise the interest rate. I'll do a video about that. They're going to raise the interest rates again. And this is just the wrong time for this to happen. And this can be just really messed up. I hope it don't happen, man. But we'll see. But yeah, man, if you guys could, man, just drop me a comment. Tell me what you think. Do you think the rail strike is going to happen? And if it is, what are you doing in the market? Are you going to do something with your portfolio? You're going to move, redirect, some things, move out of rail for a little while until everything corrects itself. Just let me know, man. I'd like to hear from you. But yeah, man. I mean, geez, God, man, as if we didn't have enough to worry about, So that's it, man. I'm signing off for the night, man. But yeah, as always, comment, share, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for spending time with me.